Hi, this is the third and the last installment of the series The Rise of Nationalism in Europe. In the previous video, we talked about the July and Greek Revolution and also the Revolution of Liberals. In this video, we'll talk about the making of nation-states of Germany, Italy, and Britain. We will also cover how the nations were personified by the artists and disaster that happened when nationalism aligned with imperialism. So, let us start. Till now, we have studied the nationalism was associated with liberalism, democracy, and revolution. But after the liberal movement of 1848, this association ended, and now the nationalist sentiments became tool which was in the hands of the conservatives, who used this often for increasing their power and asserting political domination over Europe. So, let's first talk about the nation-building process of Germany. In the previous video, we have already studied how the middle-class Germans in 1848 tried to unify German regions into a nation-state, establishing a constitutional monarchy. Middle class drafted the constitution and offered the King of Prussia to be the head, but it was rejected by the king, and he, with the help of the military, disbanded the assembly of middle class forcefully. The king was also supported by the large landowners of Prussia, who were called Junkers. Thus, the attempt to unite Germany failed. After this, Prussia took on the charge of the movement for national unification of Germany. Otto von Bismarck, who was the chief minister of Prussia, was known as the architect of national unification of Germany. How he done this unification? With the help of Prussian army and bureaucracy. Prussia fought 3 wars over 7 years with Austria, Denmark, and France that ultimately resulted in the victory of Prussia and thus unification of Germany completed. On 18 January 1871, an assembly which comprises of princes of the German states, representatives from the army, Chief Minister Otto von Bismarck, and many important Prussian ministers gathered in the Hall of Mirrors located in the Palace of Versailles and announced the new German Empire, which is to be headed by Kaiser William I of Prussia. Kaiser is a German word used for emperor. So, the whole nation-building process of Germany is done by Prussia and its army with the help of bureaucracy. The Prussia brought various measures to modernize the currency, banking, legal, and judicial systems in Germany. Italy was divided into several dynastic states and also in the multinational Habsburg Empire. Talking about the unification of Italy. During the middle of the 19th century, Italy was divided into 7 states. The north was under Austrian Habsburgs, the center was ruled by the Pope, and the southern regions, that is the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, were ruled by the Bourbon kings of Spain. Only one state, Sardinia-Piedmont, was ruled by an Italian princely house. Also, the Italian language, which we know today, had not acquired one common form and had many regional and local variations. So, there were great differences. We have already studied about the Italian revolutionary Mazzini, who put the idea of the formation of Italian Republic only could be the basis of Italian liberty. He had also formed a secret society called Young Italy to spread his ideas. However, the revolutionary uprising both in 1831 and 1848 failed at doing the unification of Italy. Thus, the task of unification is now to be completed by the Sardinia-Piedmont, which was ruled by an Italian princely house under its ruler King Victor Emmanuel II, and this could be done only through war. And why they wanted to do this? Because the ruling elites of this region saw this an opportunity for the economic development and political dominance. Cavour, who was the chief minister of Sardinia-Piedmont, played an important role in the unification of Italy. He was not a revolutionary and also not a democrat, means supporter of democracy. Like any Italian elite, he spoke French much better than Italian. He made diplomatic alliance with France and succeeded in defeating the Austrian army in 1859. He gained Lombardy region through this war. Giuseppe Garibaldi was an Italian revolutionary who was also a member of Young Italy which was founded by Mazzini. He joined the process of unification of Italy in 1860. He, together with his armed volunteers, marched into South Italy and the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. They succeeded in winning the support of the local peasants and attacked the army of Bourbon kings of Spain. Garibaldi and his forces defeated them and handed the territory to Cavour. In 1861, Victor Emmanuel II was proclaimed King of United Italy. One interesting thing to note here is that the peasants who supported the Garibaldi were illiterate and unaware of liberal nationalist ideology. They had never heard of Italia, which is an Italian name for Italy, and believed that L'Italia was a wife of Victor Emmanuel. In Britain, the formation of nation-state was different, as it was not the result of sudden rising or any revolution. Before the 18th century, there was no Britain nation. The people who were living in British Isles belonged to different ethnic groups, such as English, Welsh, Scot, or Irish. Each ethnic group had their own cultural and political traditions. But as the English nation continuously grew in wealth, importance, and power, so it extended its influence over the other nations of the islands. After a long struggle, the English Parliament seized power from the monarchy in 1688, and this was the tool through which a nation-state with England at its center started taking shape. The Act of Union in 1707 was passed by the Parliament of England between England and Scotland that resulted in the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. This act meant that England was able to impose its influence on Scotland. Now, the British Parliament was dominated by its English members, and this growth in British identity meant that culture of Scotland and its political institutions were systematically suppressed. The Catholic clans who lived in Scottish Highlands whenever tried to gain their independence were repressed by the England. They were forbidden to speak their Gaelic language or wear their national dress. In large numbers, they were driven out of their homeland forcefully. Ireland's case was also similar. The country was divided between Catholics and Protestants. As the Britain was a Protestant nation, they supported the Protestants of Ireland to establish their dominance over a country which was mostly Catholic. The revolts of the Catholics against the British nation were suppressed. After failed revolt led by Wolfe and his United Irishmen in 1798 against Britain nation, Ireland was incorporated into the United Kingdom in 1801 forcefully. Thus, a new British nation was made which had dominant English culture. The symbols of the new Britain, the British flag, Union Jack, the national anthem, God Save Our Noble King, and the English language were actively promoted. The older nations became only subordinate partners in British Union. Thus, we have understood the formation of nation-states of Germany, Italy, and Britain. In the case of Germany and Italy, the formation of nation-states was done by the army, while in the case of Britain, it was a long process which was dominated by the England. In 9th class, in the chapter French Revolution, we have studied the political words such as justice, liberty, equality, which were represented through symbols. The features of liberty were the red cap or the broken chain, while justice is shown by a blindfolded woman carrying a pair of weighing scales. Why this was done? Because we connect more with images than words, and also it helped in spreading the ideas among the masses which could not read and write. In the 18th and 19th century, artists took up another job of personifying the nation. Personifying means nations were shown as persons. Nations seem to be an abstract form, means it exists as idea but don't have any physical appearance. However, the artists showed them as female figures. These females did not exist in real life but present the abstract idea of the nation in visual form. Thus, the female figure became an allegory of the nation. What does this allegory mean? Allegory is a representation of an abstract idea through a person or a thing. There were two female electees given in the textbook, which we need to study, Marianne and Germania. Let's try to understand them one by one. Marianne is a popular Christian name, which became female electee of France. Her characteristics were drawn from those of liberty and the republic. Red cap that symbolizes liberty, the tricolor, the cockade symbolizes French Republic. The statue of Marianne were established in public location as it became national symbol unity and people can identify them with it. The images of Marianne were also marked on coins and stamps in France. Germania became the allegory of the German nation. The features of Germania was warlike woman. Germania wears a crown of oak leaves and a German oak stands for heroism. So, we have understood reason behind the personification and read about two female allegories. Now, we'll try to understand what happened when nationalism is aligned with imperialism. By the last quarter of the 19th century, the European powers used the nationalist aspiration of the peoples for their own imperialist aims. The Balkans comprised modern-day Romania, Bulgaria, Albania, Greece, Macedonia, Croatia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Slovenia, Serbia, and Montenegro. A large part of the Balkans was under the control of Ottoman Empire. The spread of the idea of romantic nationalism in the Balkans and the disintegration of the Ottoman Empire made this region very explosive. After independence of many European nations, the rebellious nationalities in the Balkans sought to win back their long-lost independence. The Balkan area became an area of intense conflict as they struggled to define their identity and independence. The Balkan states were jealous of each other and each wanted to have more territory by defeating and acquiring other territories. During this period, there was intense rivalry among the European powers over trade and colonies as well as naval and military power. The powers such as Russia, Germany, England, Austro-Hungary were opposing the hold of other powers over the Balkans and extending its own control over the area. This led to a series of wars in the region and finally the First World War. Nationalism aligned with imperialism helped in First World War, which led Europe to disaster in 1914. In the 19th century, colonized countries began to oppose imperial domination. The anti-imperial movements became nationalist movements. The idea of nation states came to be accepted as natural and universal. That's all in this chapter. Thanks for watching the video.